Hi, I'm Deb Perelman and welcome back to the Smitten Kitchen. Today we are making my perfect vegetable lasagna. This is not just a meat lasagna with the meat taken out or a few scraps of spinach thrown in. The vegetables really show up. We're gonna use a lot of them and we're gonna use them in a really flexible way. I'll show you how. I'll be here holding my bowls of vegetables. Just coming in from the fields. So we're gonna make this vegetable lasagna with whatever vegetables you like in lasagna. Whatever you're craving, whatever looks good at the store. I'm gonna make my vegetable lasagna today with something fancy I call foraging in my refrigerator. These are the vegetables that I need to use up because it's time for them to be used in something. Here is a pepper I got at the market last week. Here is a zucchini I got at the market last week that definitely should be used today. And I have some portobello mushroom caps. I also use a large yellow onion. I know this looks like a lot of spinach, but it's gonna cook down to just the perfect amount for the lasagna. The main thing we're looking for here are vegetables that we like in lasagna, and we're looking for 4 cups of it once we've diced. When I hit 4 cups, I stop chopping and save those other vegetables for another day. Get chopping. I feel like lasagna is prep city. It is so good to cook ahead of time. You can assemble it a couple days before you want to bake it and then bake it fresh. I keep forgetting that this is an 8-cup container because my 4-cup container didn't make it. So we're pretty close. By the way, you can go over, it's fine. Something like mushrooms, they're gonna cook down so little, so you don't need to be overly rigid about it. I feel like 4 cups is the minimum. Am I gonna cry? Is it a crying day? We're gonna try not to cry over onions because this is season 2 and we're older and we're better now, but I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. Everything's fine, just in my feelings. So we've chopped our vegetables, cleaned out the fridge. I've given my baby spinach a rough chop, but you don't have to. I just wanted even smaller bites. And I've chopped my onion and I've peeled my garlic, which we're gonna put in the sauce. And now we're ready to start cooking. I've heated this to medium high and I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, but I'm eyeballing it. And we're gonna start with the onion. I am a big fan of seasoning as you go. If you season each layer of your food as you cook it, it's always gonna taste amazing. It's much harder to make up for seasoning at the end if you didn't add it along the way. I'm gonna add the rest of my vegetables at once because these mostly cook for the same amount of time, so I don't need to add them in layers. In we go. Season it again. Season it again. We're gonna cook all of these vegetables together until they soften and get maybe a little brown at the edges. It takes about 5 to 8 minutes. You can scoop this onto a piece of toast and have an amazing meal, but we're gonna keep going. For the last minute, I'm gonna go ahead and add the spinach, and you're going to watch it disappear through the magic of spinach. Oh no, I have too much spinach. Me, every time I add spinach to something. And oh my God, where did my spinach go? There was so much of it. It's gone. All right, we are good. I cooked these so long that we got a nice layer of fond at the bottom. That's that really flavorful stuff that sits right on top of the pan. Just by leaving the vegetables in here for 1 minute, the steam loosens it up. So we're gonna pull that off with it because why leave it behind in the pan? Oh, also it's really gonna be easier for washing dishes, which matters. We're gonna set this aside to cool a little bit while we assemble the rest of the lasagna. Look at that. All of our beautiful vegetables. And now we are going to make our sauce. I promise it is not complicated. It's really easy. We start with canned tomatoes and tomato paste, some garlic, pepper flakes, and of course we're gonna season it with salt and pepper. So we're gonna start with a couple more tablespoons of olive oil. As you can see, I did not wash my pan. There's no reason to. This is delicious, the stuff left in there, and it all goes to the same place. I'm just gonna use this garlic press, move things along. I've got 3 cloves here. I'm gonna put in a couple pinches of pepper flakes. This is completely to taste or depending on the heat of your pepper flakes. I like to put a little bit of dried oregano in my sauce. If you don't have it, that's fine. I have this Sicilian stuff and it smells really good. So I'm gonna crumble it in, about a teaspoon if you've got it. And we're just gonna cook this for 1 minute because garlic cooks really fast. It smells so good in here. I'm gonna add an entire can of tomato paste. I think tomato paste is a very underrated ingredient. It adds such a nice intensity to a homemade tomato sauce. It adds a nice thickness. I'm gonna cook the tomato paste till it's one shade darker, which is not something you have to do, but I think it really helps develop and bring out all of the flavors you can get from your tomato paste. It's gonna stick to the pan. You're definitely gonna see some more fond. That's the good stuff. We want it. So we've got a nice, slightly darker color here. And I am going to add 2 cans of water from the tomato paste. It works out to about 1.25 cups of water. Look at that. It's gonna pick up all the color and all the deliciousness from the pan. So as you can see, we just took this tomato paste, we cooked it till it had a little more flavor in it, added some water, and boom, we have this very thick, velvety tomato sauce with a ton of flavor. From here, we're actually gonna add canned, pureed, or chopped tomatoes. That's gonna give us a little more texture. These 2 things together make my favorite sauce for lasagna, and just the right amount for the pan we're making, which is 4 cups. So like the color is so different, right? You can already see it. And these are actually, this brand's pretty pureed, but any kind of chopped tomato will work. I would say like maybe not diced, because sometimes it gets a little too cubey and then the cubes don't want to break down. We're gonna cook these together for 4 to 5 minutes, and I'm gonna season this well with salt. We have quite a bit of tomato sauce here and we want it to taste good. It looks great, it smells amazing, it's well seasoned. We're gonna put this aside and we're gonna start assembling the whole lasagna now. Let's talk about lasagna noodles. There are so many different kinds you can buy. You could buy fresh sheets, which is great. You could make fresh sheets. You can buy no boil lasagna sheets, but my favorite is the classic boil kind. However, I don't actually boil them. I don't have time for that. It's a big mess. It's a whole other pot. What I do is I soak them in hot water for 10 minutes, and I find that that gets them started just a little bit, enough that they bake fully in the time in the oven. I never used to like the texture of baked ricotta. I just found it a little dry. So what I started doing is if I was buying regular ricotta, I'd add a few tablespoons of heavy cream to it. This is completely optional. It just feel like it softens it a little bit and it enriches it so it tastes less dry when it's baked. The other cheeses I use for lasagna is this is 1 cup of aged Parmesan, finely grated. This is a 1-pound ball of mozzarella that I've coarsely grated. I like to buy the mozzarella that is dry packed, not in water for this, because we don't want to add all that water content. I'm going to go ahead and toss together the Parmesan and the mozzarella because we're going to use them at the same time. So we have our mozzarella, we have our ricotta, we have our vegetables, we have our sauce, and we have our soaking noodles. I'm gonna take these noodles out of the water, I'm gonna dry out the dish, and we're gonna start building our lasagna in it. So we are going to start, I'm gonna put a little bit of sauce, about 1/3 cup in the bottom. This just gives you a little bit of a slick so the noodles don't glue themselves to it. Have we talked about how good it smells in here? It smells so good in here, and we haven't even started baking it yet. That's how good it smells from these ingredients. First thing we're gonna add is 1 layer of noodles, and we are gonna slightly overlap them. And I get about 4 across here. Don't worry if it looks like it doesn't fill out the pan, they will once they cook. It's gonna be just right. I'm gonna use 1/4 of the ricotta per layer, and I'm just gonna dollop it all around in little bits. It'll spread out as it bakes. Next, we're gonna do 1/4 of the vegetables, and we're just gonna sprinkle them across the layer. And this is a nice thing about those small chopped vegetables, that they're very easy to spread. We use 1/4 of all the other ingredients each time, but I'm gonna use 1/5 of the cheese. And yes, we are absolutely just gonna eyeball this, and that's because we want a little bit left for the top layer. So I'm gonna use 1/4 of the sauce at a time for each layer. So we just did our first layer of noodles, our first layer of ricotta, vegetables, mozzarella, and sauce. I'm gonna repeat this 3 more times to create a total of 4 layers. And you're probably looking at this and thinking, this is crazy. Like, this isn't gonna work, but it's going to work. The final layer, and I feel like the top of the lasagna is everything. That's kind of what I'm in it for. Well, the top and the corners. So what I like to do is we're not gonna it's not gonna be a very wet layer. Think of a slice of pizza where you have this thin slick of sauce. This is gonna give the top this really great, crackly, amazing texture. So we're spreading it out all the way to the corners, and we're gonna top it with the remaining cheese. And I'm gonna once again use my fingers here. This is a very, very tall, towering lasagna, but I promise in the oven it's gonna do exactly what you want it to. And we're gonna bake it with foil on for 30 minutes. Then we're gonna take the foil off and we're gonna bake it for 20 more. At the end, sometimes I give it a couple extra minutes just to get a little color on top, but it should look really beautiful and I can't wait to show it to you. I feel like this could be 10 pounds. I mean, the dish is probably a few of them. We definitely know there's a pound or two of vegetables, definitely a pound of noodles, definitely a pound or two of sauce. I could see it. Definitely a pound of cheese. You're welcome. All right, I'm gonna put this in. Goodbye. We have a magnificent lasagna beast. It came in so tall, but as I promised in the oven, it just settles down. And this one, it spent a little extra time in the oven and I love the extra color on it. It smells so good. Think it's gonna look good? Oh my goodness. That is a perfect vegetable lasagna. It is so set up. There's so many beautiful layers. Maybe by season 3, I will remember to cut smaller slices for myself. Cheesy, but not excessively so. You can really see the vegetables in there. You've got the mushrooms, you've got the little bit of zucchini. It's so good. The vegetables are not an afterthought. I think that everybody needs a perfect vegetable lasagna recipe in their arsenal, and I hope it's this one because it's got all the vegetables, beautiful color, lots of layers, it's perfectly seasoned, and it's such a treat. I hope you love it. I hope you liked the video, I hope you subscribe, and I hope you come back next week because we're gonna have a brand new video for you. It's a recipe that you chose, and I can't wait to show it to you.